Hello, everybody. Welcome to another AMA. Looking forward to sharing some details with you of what we've been up to. Herman is here to give a strategic and core development update, so I'll hand you over to him now and he'll take it away.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, trade community. This new format of AMAs, we're still sort of working out the quirks of it, but I think overall, perhaps Owen will have a more complete overview about this overhaul in both communication styles and brand. But I think it's going quite well. So once again, both my input, my AMA, and any subsequent one will be at most maybe 3 or 4 minutes. The structure, as we've relayed before, is an overview of what happened in the previous week, an estimation of what to expect in the subsequent week, in the week to follow, and perhaps a list of issues that we may have faced or are facing currently. Now, I haven't been here last week AMA, I apologize for that. But overall, the update would have been the same as it is now. We're actively testing and reviewing the initial result of the EVM parachain that's currently been on testnet, been deployed on testnet. We will be publishing inputs. We can call it a bounty list, if you will, of actions that the broader community can take to assist us in this inspection of the EVM parachain in function on testnet, so that the broader public can help out, and not just the technical users that so far have been contributing and assisting us that way. You can expect that within the next few probably days. Beside that, other pending actions that has occupied the core effort the past few weeks and will continue to for the next few is an indexer for both the EVM parachain, both mainnet and testnet, and a related explorer, so that users can explore the various transactions and blocks being produced on this parachain. The same goes for an indexer and explorer for the substrate machines, and this has been a piece of software that we've been using internally for several months. It's just a matter of integrating it and releasing it. We have a few pending DevOps items for that, but it shouldn't take very long at all. In addition to this, of course, it's worth reminding that the next few months will involve a review of the testnet parachain, EVM parachain results, both from this technical standpoint that we've already been undertaking the past few weeks, and the results of the bug bounty that will involve everybody, technical and non-technical users. This will allow us to deploy the EVM hopefully quite soon on mainnet. And as many of you have been asking and awaiting, open the inverse bridge channel from Trade Network mainnet over to BSC. People have asked them. I'm aware of timing. I don't think it's proper to address that now. There are a few interesting items. I don't really want to disclose them all. There's a web app that is that will help users to interact with the EVM a bit better. In particular, the cryptographic conversion from substrate keys to Ethereum keys, given the lacking of deterministic derivation in the current iteration, that may be updated over the next few months. But nevertheless, this web app will practically solve this question just with an additional step. And this, hopefully within, again, months, will become a full-fledged web app that's now been in the works for months. It will be a communion of two different efforts that have been long ongoing, perhaps before, certainly before hint was made to them, and hopefully will lead to yes, a web wallet that is that allows users to interact with the trade chain in a more efficient and user-friendly way than just trade up place. And that's it. Given this new format, I won't be answering any questions, but if you have any, feel free to just post them on the chat and I'll get to them by text in the next few hours. Goodbye.
Thank you very much, Herman. Good to hear. Things are progressing steadily. We're still on track with the roadmap, etc. This is what people want to hear, and it's encouraging for all of us in the project and in the wider community. From my perspective, I'm going to share some details with you about what's been going on less of the development side. But as Herman mentioned, we have the bug bounty of sorts to announce very soon, within a couple of days. We're increasing at the moment, as I mentioned before. Now that there's less focus on EVM, we have more time to strategically look at what kind of output and communications we want to be doing. And that's important because, as you guys know, there's no point in really building things if nobody ever finds out about it or knows about it. So the first step in this will be a newsletter that's going to be published tomorrow. This is going to be a restart of our previous newsletter efforts, which were somewhat more difficult to do given the kind of the challenges and efforts being put into the EVM launch on testnet, which has now been completed. The newsletter will be published, and also alongside this, there will be an investor letter which goes into some other different aspects of things, which will be sent out to our institutional investor partners this week as well. I will edit that slightly and release it in the chat as well, so that anybody who's curious about this can take a look. Aside from that, we're also pushing forward with some more community communications, such as discussion of tokenomics and discussions of our new validator partners. I expect that to be out, both of those to be out between now and the next AMA, which is good because it shows all the activity and the analysis that's being done constantly on the business side here, and that we're aware of all the things that we need to keep an eye on and keep on top of. And we do take these decisions quite strategically when it comes to validators, when it comes to tokenomics, etc. So I think it's good to share that with the community and any outsiders, because it just gives a good idea of how much we deliberate over these things and the rationale behind them. We've also been contacted by a couple of different press outlets for interviews over the past couple of weeks. I'm talking to them at the moment. I can't be sure as to when they'll publish. One said that they'd publish in the next couple of weeks, or in the next week or so, and I haven't found out when the other will be. But it's good always to keep ourselves in the press, to draw more people into the ecosystem, into the project, into the community, because that's good for everybody, investors and us as well. So looking forward to that. As I spoke about last time, I'm hoping to actually might possibly share some details with you about the upcoming website update, and maybe some screenshots or something like that, or maybe we'll just tell you some of the thoughts that have gone into the design of this, because of course, website is very important. It's the after our socials, it's the second thing that people will check out when they're looking at the project. And for the sake of the project and the community as well, we just want that to be as cutting edge, up to date, and representative as possible, because the project and the community deserve that too. With regards to the merch store, I'm kind of just waiting for us to get some of these other items out, because I think it's important for the community to see the vital and instrumental progress being done first before we release merch store stuff and start publicizing that, because it's cool and it's valuable, but it's less important than the core effort on the business side and on the development side. And also we are hoping to share details with some smaller and larger partnerships that we've been working on. A lot of these have been somewhat hinging on EVM, but over the next couple of weeks, we'll hope to discuss some of these things with you, and then announce them. This is good for hype that goes behind Cherry, but bearing in mind, we don't just do things for the sake of hype. We always do things if they help the business ecosystem and the technical ecosystem of the project as well. So yeah, that would be interesting to be able to share with you guys as well. As Herman said, some of the questions that have been posted in the chat, he'll get to. I'm just going to double check again which ones are particularly, if any, are particularly relevant to me. I'll have a look. Yeah, so Minix asked about the big partner. This was actually discussed by Herman a couple of weeks ago, and it was actually a case. It's actually a case where our point of contact with this partnership has had to take some time off and stuff like that. It's still not signed and sealed. This is just something that optimistically, or not optimistically, but hopefully, if we get this signed up, it'll generate a lot of positive interest for Cherry. And as Herman said, we can't really push that forward at the moment. We're kind of waiting for these things to be negotiated. So hopefully we get that one over the line. As Herman mentioned before, it's in the entertainment industry. It's a Web 2 or non-Web 3 business. We're not going to talk about it too much until we get a final verdict on this, because for one, it's not really, it kind of somewhat jeopardize business discussions if we're off talking about it with the prospective partners not present. It doesn't look very good. And second of all, we don't like to traffic in hype too much. We don't like to make big statements that we can't back up. So we're going to try and work away at that, and then hopefully in the near future we'll have a verdict for you one way or another. And hopefully, of course, it is a go. I hope so. JD asked about the Dubai office. Again, the Dubai office we have people there, and that's been like that for a long time now, over a year. So yeah, the office is done. I've kind of just given a business update as to what we're doing. We're hoping to announce a few partnerships soon. One thing I forgot about was that we've been in discussion with some of our investment partners, and they've been kind of giving their view on which ways to push forward soon. One thing that we all agreed on, and one thing we're getting assistance with, is finding ways to communicate Cherry in a more succinct and to the point way in terms of what Cherry is trying to do and all that kind of thing. That's what the website is about. And we're going to step up and increase our frequency of work on social media, etc., just to present the project in as positive a light as possible. And in terms of partnerships, there'll be a few that will be discussed. There'll be partnerships and integrations to a greater and lesser extent. And as soon as we can get them done and talk about them, then we absolutely will, because obviously it reflects well on the project. So we're working quite hard on that. And Diego's helping with that as well, actually. I think that that's most of the questions for now. What I'm going to do is actually I'm going to try and get the newsletter done as soon as possible so that it goes out early tomorrow. You guys will get a better overview of what's going on, and then we'll also have the investor letter and things like that as well. Over the next couple of days, we'll have more things to discuss that I'll just add into the chat as they come more available. But for the moment, everything's progressing well. As Herman discussed, the development issues are proceeding strongly as well. And the bug bounty that he mentioned will be going live very soon. And we'll have lots of things for you to read, etc., as we go through the week. This is the shortened format of the AMAs. As Herman mentioned, it's better this way because it means that people have less time or they don't have to spend as long listening to us. We're trying to make things as to the point as possible, and then supplement them with more discussion in the chat and also more discussion in our blog and in our newsletters, etc. I think that's better for everyone, especially because some people have issues with we have investors from all around the world. We have community all around the world, and English is often not their first language. So I think it's better to have things in text as much as possible. I'm hoping to be able to have the video content that we mentioned. It's going to be of a very high quality. I think within the next couple of weeks that will be out. That'll be something good for the community to share around, because the goal of these videos will be to show people exactly what Cherry does, why it's valuable, what we've achieved so far, etc. So we'll probably do 2 or 3 videos around that really explains very clearly, and to anyone with any familiarity with Web3 will be able to understand where Cherry fits into the broader landscape. So at that, I'm gonna leave you guys with the quiz. I think the quiz winners from last week and a couple from before, I still need to get to, so I'm hoping to get to them at some point this week. And yeah, aside from that, I will do my very best to recap everything that Herman and myself have said. I'm going to have it done this evening. You have my word. I'm going to have that out this evening. So I'll post the recap in the chat later today. Thank you all for joining. Everything's moving ahead quite well with the project. Your support, as always, is very important. So I'll leave you with John now. He'll do the quiz, and I'll talk to you guys, I'm sure, in a little while. The quiz winners, by the way, will be announced pretty soon. I'd say within an hour or so as well. Thank you very much for joining. Looking forward to sharing more cool stuff with you this week. And yeah, onwards and upwards. Thanks, guys.